0-0, Rayo Vallecano, Real Madrid.
Yes, Real Madrid had only won one of their last 5 visits to this venue coming into the game. Now it's just one of their last 6. Mario Suárez was watching it with us. And this is how things are looking in the table right now. If Barcelona win today, they can go within 3 points of Real Madrid in the table. Real Madrid still sitting at the top of the pile on 31 points as it stands right now. They've given themselves something of a cushion so far, taking a point away from this game today, which is what Mario expected. However, Mario, you did expect to see goals here today, and we did not.
Yeah, it was. Well, but I said it was a draw. It is a draw without goals, to be honest. But we were talking before the match that it was going to be a hard match for Real Madrid, not a comfortable one, not an easy one. And it was. What I see from Real Madrid, I don't like that they don't play as a team. They play with the talent they have in front, with some plays from Vinicius, some plays from Bellingham, some plays from Arda Güler, nothing from Mbappé today. So we don't see a team. I think the only match during the season that I watched Real Madrid playing as a team and playing more than 60 minutes good football was in El Clásico against Football Club Barcelona. But today and in a lot of matches, it looks like they don't care if they don't win. Like I'm here, give me the ball, I want to do my play, I want to make my play, I want to score my goal, to give my assist. But they don't play as a team. They don't defend together. We were talking all the season that Xabi Alonso wants to change from Ancelotti. He wants to pressure high. We are not watching this at all, neither today, neither the other day in Anfield. So this Real Madrid, they are not playing well. They are not performing in the best way, and 2 matches in a row without winning.
And now it's 2 games without a win for Real Madrid, and we're going into an international break. Is that an issue?
Don't worry, and don't forget that's 2 games without a goal as well. But I think this game in itself, at Rayo Vallecano, at Estadio de Vallecas, is a completely different animal altogether. And I think as a manager, you have to treat it as such. And you sort of have to change the way that you play. Real Madrid came into this match thinking that they were just going to be able to knock the ball here and there and everywhere. And Rayo Vallecano did not allow that to happen. The dimensions on the field don't allow that to happen. And then you just allow this crowd to get behind Rayo Vallecano. You're forcing turnovers in bad areas. Real Madrid is losing the ball because they keep facing their own goal. And it wasn't until the second half that you began to see the long ball and stretching Rayo Vallecano. And my point, as I mentioned that at halftime, is that even if you don't complete that long ball, what you're doing is that you're pushing Rayo Vallecano back. And you're forcing them to make a decision. You're forcing them to play out of the back. You're forcing them into the same mistakes that they're forcing you to make. And logically, as I mentioned at halftime, if they're losing the ball in a bad area and you have better players, now you can take advantage of having players in advanced position, winning the ball higher up the field. But in order to do that, you have to change the mindset. And you never saw the intensity nor the energy for Real Madrid to match what Rayo Vallecano were doing. And to Mario's point, which I think is a valid one, Vini, he throws himself on the left and he's dribbling and trying to do his thing. He was active at the very least. Kylian Mbappé, because he wasn't participating in the game, he got disinterested. Then Jude Bellingham started making runs in behind and beyond the back line, trying to see if he could get involved, but nobody was actually playing that ball through to him. There was one or a couple of occasions in which it worked, and then they went away from it. And then you can also point at the manager and say, how in the world, when you need a goal, when you're trying to win the game, you still go back to something that was a complete failure against Liverpool, and that is Camavinga high right winger Camavinga. Even Edward Camavinga is saying, I don't even know what to do here. What am I supposed to do here? And he took another 5-10 minutes to put Rodrigo on the field. I just don't see it. So overall, on the whole, the approach of Real Madrid today was bad. And the setup and the way that they try to play this game did not match what the game called for. And then the changes made or not made by Xabi Alonso also didn't make sense. Other than that, again, as I said against Liverpool, Real Madrid were great.
Yeah, in these tough games and in these games where they're up against big teams and the games that are classed as the bigger games this season, Mario, where they have fallen short under Xabi Alonso, are we seeing with this coach that he still needs to fine-tune that in-game management, those decisions he's making, the subs that he's bringing on?
Yes, of course. I think we talked in Mallorca in the first week of competition that we would like to see Xabi Alonso, how he managed the egos of the players, how he managed the system he wants to play, because I don't find a system where all the players can fix in the right way together, you know? It looks like also with one of your best players that is Vinicius, you don't have good feeling, they don't have good feeling between them. It's obviously everybody see you are losing today and you don't put in Rodrigo and you play, as Alex said, with Camavinga as a right winger that is not his position, and he's not going to dribble, he's not going to create chances as Rodrigo can do. You take out Brahim, one of your best signings, at least Alexander-Arnold, is not playing. It looks like you don't have trust on him, and with the substitutions you can see this. I think Xabi Alonso needs to improve the way he's handled when the matches are not going well, you know, when you have to change the matches from the bench with your own decisions. And at the moment, as you said, in the tough matches, he's not doing this.
We've just seen Íñigo Pérez getting his players together, Mario, the youngest coach in LaLiga as well, and really celebrating with the fans today. How big a result is this for them, getting this point off Real Madrid?
Well, I know these players very well. I know Íñigo also very well. He was the assistant coach of Andoni Iraola when I was there in my last year of career. And they are good guys, they are good persons, and they are a family. They fight for each other, they play, they are humble. It's the opposite, no? That it looks like from Real Madrid from away. And they want to play, or they like to play these kind of matches. They give their 120%. They are doing amazing historical season, playing also in Europe. And it's so good to see a team that is funny to watch because they want to attack, they want to create chances. They don't change their philosophy. It doesn't matter against they play Real Madrid, Barcelona, or Girona. They play the same way. So I'm happy for them, and it's also good to see Rayo Vallecano play against big teams.
On the larger scale of it, Ale, can he look at the calendar and go, okay, that was always going to be a difficult one. At least we didn't come away with nothing.
Well, that would be the very glass half full view on
Spilling
it.
over.
I mean, it is, yes, it is water everywhere. Yes, you can look at it that way. However, I don't live in that world. So I would suggest that you can also look at the calendar and say, this is going to be tricky. This is going to be difficult. This is going to be different. It's a different challenge. The magic and the virtues of Vallecas. That feeling that Mario is so familiar with. That idea that, man, this place that has a lot of history, the other way to say is kind of dingy, right? It's difficult. It's tough. It's frustrating. No player, certainly in a big team, whether you're Real Madrid or Barcelona, looks at Rayo Vallecano and say, that's the game we want to play. But that's the game that really tests who you are and what you are as a team. That it's not going to be pretty, and you know it. They knew it, he knew it, and yet you're able to grind your way through and get a result. That is what championship teams do. This Real Madrid version, it's almost as if they were surprised that, we can't play the ball through the midfield comfortably? We don't have enough space? We're turning the ball up. How is this happening? I am surprised that a team of this magnitude and this caliber that hasn't had success at Vallecas over the last 5 times they come here. You said that they only won once out of the last 4. So they know that it's a challenge, and yet they continue or try to continue to do the same things that get him into trouble to begin with. That, again, I used it in the pregame to describe Hansi Flick. That's terco, stubborn. No? You got to change. You got to adjust. The game is calling for something different, and Real Madrid refused to do that. They did that 3 times to play the ball direct in the second half. They won 2 corners and got a foul out of it. But then they chose that, we're not going to do that again. We're going to bring in Dani Ceballos because he's not going to play a long ball. He's going to dinky. And what do? Turn the ball over, and now Rayo Vallecano goes on the counter. It doesn't make sense. The substitution pattern today for Real Madrid didn't make sense. The performance of Real Madrid didn't make sense. And so while you can be positive if you so desire, okay, I actually think think about it in this term. You lost against Liverpool and deserved to lose against Liverpool. It should have been by more goals. And then you didn't get the result today against Rayo Vallecano. And now you have had a whole international break of where us and everybody else that covers La Liga, particularly in Madrid, are going to be talking about the shortcomings of this team. Does anybody need that? Does Xabi Alonso need that? No.
Absolutely not. And Mbappe had been scoring in every single league game leading up to this. It was 8 straight, and you mentioned it at halftime as well, Mario. Is it a case sometimes with Real Madrid that when Mbappe has an off day, they're in trouble?
Yes. There were a lot of matches this season that they win because of Courtois or because of Kylian Mbappe. They weren't playing well, they weren't doing a good match, but when you have a player like Kylian Mbappe in front, you can always score a goal and put in front. But today, the reality is that he didn't participate, as Ale said. He didn't receive balls in advantage. He didn't make a run looking for the space. He was not comfortable. It was not a good day from Kylian Mbappe either. And when this happens, it's more difficult to your team to win. So they really need Kylian Mbappe to get back scoring goals. And it looks like when he don't score against Liverpool, against Rayo Vallecano today, they are struggling to open the goals and to win matches. Yes. That's the reality.